60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, even 2020s, just barely. The Bond franchise spans 6 decades so far, with the first entry, Dr. No, having come out in 1962, and the most recent film, No Time to Die, having been released in 2021. There will undoubtedly be more to come. When a franchise has run this long, it is inevitable that certain tropes will appear, recurring themes, motifs, in-jokes, lines, Easter eggs, what have you. In this video, I will list some, maybe even most, of the tropes one can expect to come across if one were to sit down and watch every Bond film, the 25 by Eon Productions, with 20 in a loose type of connected canon and 5 in a reboot series, plus the non-canon Never Say Never Again. I'm not including the 1967 parody film Casino Royale because, well, parodies are supposed to point out tropes, aren't they? 1967 may even have been too early to get the majority. Let's get to the tropes. Number 1. Bond gambles or plays a game. Several Bonds have played baccarat, and we've also seen sickbo, blackjack, poker, craps, golf, and others, even a video game of sorts. Bond even played shoot the glass off the woman's head. Number 2. Bond swims. Bond might swim for fun, he might swim for the mission, or he might swim to escape. Number 3. Bond takes to the slopes, either by skiing or snowboarding or something similar. I guess you can include surfing and parasailing. Number 4. Bond has a martini. He will probably say shaken, not stirred. Remember the vodka. In film, Dr. No is the first person to say the shaken line. Number 5. Bond smokes. Bond smoked more in earlier films, but this changed as social norms regarding smoking shifted. The cigarette case is sometimes a gadget. Number 6. Bond gets a car. Bond is often assigned a car by Q branch, with Q explaining the special features, such as changing number plates, ejector seats, and so on. The car is often an Aston Martin. Number 7. Bond gets a gun. Bond always carries a gun, but he is often assigned a gun by Q. He usually carries a Walther PPK, and his enemies know it. Number 8. Bond is very stylish. Bond will enter wearing an amazing suit, stand and take in the room, and preen. He looks good and he knows it. Number 9. Bond seduces women. Lots of women. Sometimes they are colleagues. He even seduces the villain's girlfriend on more than one occasion. In the ending scene, MI6 is sometimes watching. There are suggestions that Bond has seduced men as well. Number 10. Bond hits women. This happened more often in early films. This is not in combat, but to punish or intimidate. He also playfully slaps the odd butt once in a while. Number 11. A girl dies. It might be a colleague helping with the mission. It might be someone he seduced. It might be someone very special. Oh, please, James, spare me the Freud. I might as well ask you for the vodka martinis that have silenced the screams of all the men you've killed, or if you find forgiveness in the arms of all those willing women, for all the dead ones you failed to protect. Alec Trevelyan. Number 12. Bond visits Q. Q explains and demonstrates gadgets to be used during the mission, and some under development. Bond will probably use the gadgets later in the film. Q usually chides Bond for not paying attention or being childish. Number 13. Bond uses a gadget, or an enemy does by chance, saving Bond's life. The gadgets are very much a Chekhov's gun. If we see it, it will be used later on. Number 14. Bond is threatened by wild animals. Crocodiles, alligators, sharks, tigers, piranhas, and more. Sharks seem to be quite frequent. Number 15. Bond barely avoids death. This is par for the course in adventure circles. The villain has a complex death trap. The villain opts out of the easy kill to gloat. Bond is tied up but escapes. And surprisingly, Bond is rescued by someone more often than you would think. Number 16. Bond uses other vehicles besides a car. He flies planes and helicopters, or is a passenger, or hangs outside. There are boats, yachts, life rafts, submarines. Motorbikes? Sure. Space shuttles? Why not? Number 17. Bond infiltrates the villain's base. Bond villains have bases, more so in the earlier films. They are sometimes quite exotic, like inside a volcano. The bases might even be mobile. Expect Bond to disguise himself as a worker, and for the base to explode. Number 18. Bond's villain has henchmen and henchwomen. Sometimes they are named like Oddjob or Jaws. Sometimes they have a gimmick, again like Oddjob or Jaws. It is likely that Bond will go toe-to-toe with them. However, they rarely switch sides. Number 19. Bond loves saying his own name. Bond. James Bond. On occasion, his enemies already know it. Number 20. Bond likes his quips. He often has a clever line ready after dealing with a foe. What's the matter, James? No glib remark? No pithy comeback? Alec Trevelyan. Number 21. Bond greets Moneypenny. The hat flies onto the hook. There is flirtatious banter. Sometimes there is a peck on the cheek. Will they or won't they? Number 22. Bond shoots down a gun barrel. This happens at the end of almost every opening scene. Bond walks, spins, shoots, and blood drips down. Iconic. Number 23. There are tropes during the opening song. Weapons might be seen. Women might be swimming or dancing or running around, apparently naked, in silhouette. Do they show Bond's face? Sometimes. Number 24. There may be a girl fight. Tatiana versus Klebb. Jinx versus Frost. Two jealous gypsies. Are there more? Number 25. Bond deals with the main boss before the henchman? Be it Tee-Hee, Jaws, or Knick-Knack, the henchman sometimes returns to plague our hero. Is this just a Moore thing? Are there others? There you have it, 25 of the most familiar tropes in the Bond franchise. Which ones are your favorites? Are there any you think I left out? Leave a comment and let me know. I would love to read it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.